Welcome back to Video Rental Chaos. On today's episode, we're talking about all things Friday the 13th, Part 5, The New Beginning. You know, the movie that makes you ask, is this a Friday the 13th film or an episode of Dateline? This installment's got it all. Wild Hillbillies? Check. Weird enchilada side effects? Check. So, if you've ever wondered what happens when a franchise says, you know what? Let's get weird. Buckle up. Because this ride's about to get reckless. Reggie the Reckless, that is. Alright, let's talk about it. Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. Or as I like to call it, who the hell is Jason now? This movie has everything. Teens getting high, teens getting naked, and teens getting very, very dead. But wait, plot twist, Jason's not even in this one. Instead, we get Roy, the most suspicious paramedic in horror history. Honestly, this dude might as well have been walking around with a sign that said, "Hey, I'm the killer!" So, let's dive into this wild, trashy, and surprisingly fun ride. The movie kicks off with young Tommy Jarvis, played by Corey Feldman. He watches two idiots dig up Jason's grave, and of course, Jason comes back to life and kills them both. It's a creepy rain-filled sequence, but then Tommy wakes up and we realize it was all a nightmare. We meet the older Tommy, played by John Shepard, who's been through some serious trauma since killing Jason in Part 4. Tommy is sent to Pinehurst, a halfway house for troubled teens. Tommy barely talks and looks like he's seconds away from snapping, which adds tension right from the start. At Pinehurst, we meet a colorful group of teens. There's the flirty Tina and Eddie, the sweet Violet with her cool dance moves, the angry Vic, and the goofy Joey. Right off the bat, this feels like one of the best group of teens in the franchise history. So we see Joey annoying Vic while he's chopping wood, and Vic snaps, killing Joey with an axe. It's brutal and unexpected, and it sets up the whole mystery of the movie. Joey's body is taken away, and we meet Roy, the paramedic, who seems oddly fixated on the murder. Two teenage drifters get killed while fixing a car. But it's clear someone in a Jason-like outfit is back at work. The mystery is on. A random waitress and her boyfriend get killed in a diner also. You gotta find out, who's the new killer? We end up meeting Reggie the Reckless, a kid staying at Pinehurst with his grandpa, who works there. Reggie is awesome. He's funny, confident, and way cooler than most of the teens. He instantly steals every scene he's in. The movie doesn't hold back on the body count. Tina and Eddie sneak off into the woods for some fun, but Jason 2.0 isn't having it. Tina gets killed with a garden shear, and Eddie doesn't last much longer. Reggie and Pam take Tommy to visit Reggie's brother, Demon, who's living in a van. This scene is a highlight. Demon singing with his girlfriend, but then he gets taken out, is one of the most memorable kills. Meanwhile, Violet's famous robot dance gets interrupted by her death. These are classic Friday the 13th kills. Bloody, creative, and a little silly. Reggie ends up face to face with the killer, and his reaction is priceless. The last act is pure chaos. Reggie, Pam, and Tommy end up on a full-on chase with the killer. Pam gets some great final girl moments, but it's Reggie who really shines using a tractor to fight back. In the end though, we find out the killer isn't Jason or Tommy, it's Roy the paramedic from earlier. Turns out Joey was Roy's son and he went on a revenge spree. Watching this again, it's so obvious Roy's the killer, but the movie does a good job keeping you guessing the first time around. The movie ends up with Tommy snapping and putting on the Jason mask. It's an insane twist, but it doesn't really go anywhere since the next movie ignores it completely. Still, it's a bold way to end the Friday the 13th film. Friday the 13th Part 5 is a blast. Trying to figure out who the new Jason is makes it so much fun. When you rewatch it, it's clear again that Roy is the killer, but the mystery's still entertaining. It's also cool seeing some actors from Return of the Living Dead pop up here. Like I said at the beginning, this might be the best group of teens in the entire franchise. Again, they're funny and unique and memorable. Plus, Reggie the Reckless is possibly my favorite character of any of these movies. He's such a standout. And it's rare for a kid character to steal the show in a horror film. People hate on this movie for not having Jason. But you have to remember, the final chapter was supposed to be the end. It's not a bad idea to try something different with a new killer. And honestly, this movie has all the traits of a classic Friday the 13th film. Nudity, dead teens, drug use. What more do you want? The end with Tommy being set up as the killer is wild, considering Roy was the actual killer. But it's part of what makes this movie so unique. For me, Part 5 is one of the better installments in the franchise. It's underrated and deserves more love. So the next time you decide to have some premarital sex and smoke some weed, better not be at Camp Crystal Lake. And with that being said, I'll see you at the video store.